Hello, back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking all the Manchester United players this season. So we've got a bunch to sort through, and yeah, let's go through it. Start off, we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's been pretty solid. On the right flank, he's been a better fullback, the best right back at least we've had for a good long time, and he's been pretty solid this season. Alex Telles. Also, by the way, it's like a standing solid average. Disappointing is like the bottom, and then not seen enough is like he hasn't played enough. I don't have an impression of him. Axel's been average. When the time he has played, he's brought a bit of creativity, something not many fullbacks that we've had in the last couple of years for United have had. But disappointingly, I think he expected more starts, but thanks to Luke Shaw's outstanding form this season, he hasn't really played that much. I'm a Diallo. I haven't seen enough of him. Obviously, also this isn't like the worst. This is just like I haven't seen enough. I don't have a real like knowing of what he's. He scored that goal against AC Milan, but he hasn't played that often. Oh, he's only played I think a couple of times, so I haven't seen enough. Hopefully, it'll turn out to be something. Anthony Martial, he's been very disappointing. Last season he scored so many goals. This season he's missed so many chances to score goals. And I don't know where his form went. He's lost all of his confidence. Axel Tunzebi, he's been average. Times he's played, he's been a pretty good center back. He's been a rock, and unfortunately doesn't get that much playing time. But when he has, he's been quite average. He's been decent. Brian Williams, this season has not really at all has not played at all really this season. I haven't seen enough from this season. Obviously this is a tier for like this season how they played, so I haven't seen enough from Fernandez. Outstanding. He's turned this team around. He scored so many goals. He's created so many chances. He's done really well. Daniel James, uh, average. He doesn't really play that often. Yeah, he had that nice spell around January, February. Uh, but this season when he's played, he's been quite average and a good, reliable winger they can bring on with some pace if later on. David De Gea, he's been disappointing this season. He's had a few errors. Uh, he hasn't played all great. He's just since the World Cup, he's been so just he hasn't been the same. He's been quite disappointing. Dean Henderson has been average. He's featured in the cup games and the last few Premier League games. He's played pretty well. He's got a couple of clean sheets. I'm excited to see what he brings to the future. Danny Van de Beek, haven't seen enough. We bought him from uh, Ajax, and he hasn't been played really. He's only played a handful of games, and has been off the team. He's been brought off the bench only so many times. I haven't seen enough of him. And then Cavani's been solid. He came here to just get goals, and to be honest, for what he did, for what he brought to the table, it's been pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what he's done this season, and he's probably gonna leave after this season. Yeah, Eric Bailly, he's been average. He's gotten injured multiple times this season as always, but he was playing quite well. But then he got dropped, and then he got injured, and then he just can't find a time where he just plays a game after game after game due to his injuries. Um, I don't know who this is to be honest. Here's Fred. He's been average. He's been a good midfielder, a reliable one. The absence of Paul Pogba due to his injury. He's been a pretty reliable midfielder. He always has, but against Leicester in a couple of recent matches, he hasn't been good enough. And I think now a lot of fans are turning on him, wanting a different midfielder. Harry Maguire, he's just average. Like I wish I could put him in disappointing, but like because of how much we spent. But in the end, the way he has played says for his money. He's been average, a reliable center back who doesn't know how to run, but is good old fashioned English. While Mata, he has been. I want to say I haven't seen enough of him. So if I did, I, I don't know where to put him because he hasn't featured that much this season. A couple of games, but in the end, if you haven't seen a player play a couple of games, you can't make a decision on that. That's the reason why I know Bruno Fernandes is there. He's played almost every game. I know I can make a distinction on that. Lee Grant, he's been outstanding. He's been the best Manchester United player by far. Luke Shaw, he's been outstanding. Since really this season, since Alex Telles came, he's just been phenomenal. His form has improved. He's becoming more attacking, and he's got that confidence that he never really got from Louis van Gaal or from Jose Mourinho. And he's really played quite well. He's in the England squad, and he's been good. Marcus Rashford's been solid. Didn't really do great early on in the season. Then he had a really good run of form in the festive times, and now he hasn't done much recently. But so far this season, he's been quite solid. He's been a good attacking threat. Mason Greenwood, I don't want to put him in disappointing. I want to put him in average. But last season he scored so much. You expect him to get better, I guess. Next season with age more, knowing more. But he hasn't scored as many. He's not become. He kind of almost seems not worse, but just not as reliable. Yeah, I have no idea who this is. If you know who he is, actually, tell me in the comments. Matic, I'm gonna put him in disappointing. He hasn't really been featured this season after last season, featuring almost every game, and but this season he just seems most games he's played he seems slow. He seems like just not the player that used to be back at Chelsea, the one that dominated the midfield, the one that Jose Mourinho thought he was getting. Paul Pogba, put him in average, cause he was playing really well for that like period, like January, and then he got injured, which isn't really his fault. Actually, I'll put him in solid. He's had a solid season, so I'll put him in average because the beginning of the season it was all that stuff about him transferring and whatever. Phil Jones, I haven't seen enough of him, but I don't need to see enough. He's very disappointing. Scott McTominay, he's been average. Also, this is the issue with Manchester United. Look how many average players there are. There are a couple of outstanding players and a couple of solid players. They haven't been. There's so many average players. It's just so like you're not gonna win a team if you've got Scott McTominay in your lineup. I'm sorry, you're not gonna win the Champions League. Um, I feel bad for this man. He's been done dirty. Actually, Romero. He hasn't played this season because now we have De Gea and Dean Henderson. And he isn't really needed anymore. And disappointed because he's such a great, reliable second person. But yeah, that's just disappointing. Shola Shortiri, haven't seen enough, but he's played like a game or two. Really exciting. He's so young. He can bring so much in the future, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Victor Lindelof, probably the most average person ever for United, the most vanilla player ever. This season he's played most games by sometimes taking his position, but the season he's again been vanilla. He's been average. Just he's what United's been, just average. He's an outstanding player. He isn't a Luke Shaw or even he just isn't that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. And yeah, hope I see you later. Bye.